Hello crafty friends, welcome to this month's Global Stampin' Video Hop. My name is Linda Dolke and I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up in Australia. I'm excited to show you what I've got here today. This month's theme is Slimline Cards. Now Slimline Cards basically is just a different size card than what would normally fit into a regular envelope. I've got actually a sample of what we're making here today, and I'm going to change it up slightly, but you can see it's like a long thin card. This is what we call a slimline card. Yes, these will fit into a DL envelope here in Australia. I've made mine in metric sizing because I use A4 paper, but you can certainly make them in US letter paper as well. So I hope that you're going to enjoy these with me. Now I'm excited about this suite. Right now we have a sweet sale on, some of you would be aware, and the sweet sale is a buy one get one 50% off. Okay, and it's any sweets that are in our annual catalog or even our online exclusives. Anything that you'll find in the online store that's described as a suite is currently on sale, and you don't have to buy the whole suite to take advantage of it. So you could just buy 2 items out of a suite, and they don't even have to be the same suite. So long as they're part of a suite, the more expensive one will be full price and the lower price one will be 50% off. So that's been fantastic for me this month because I went ahead and got a couple of different suites that I didn't have because I was able to get them at a good price. Now this is a less expensive suite. This one is $136 here in Australia. They have some beautiful samples here on page 58 of the catalogue, and over here on the right hand side, page 59, it shows you exactly what items are part of this suite. So we have this gorgeous stamp set called Inspiring Imperfections. We have a matching die set, a beautiful embossing folder, some little gems, gold gems here, which I'll show you in a moment, and the beautiful paper. I'm going to be using everything except the embossing folder today. I'll use that another time, but these are just beautiful. You can do so much with them. Fantastic for scrapbooking, fantastic for card making. And if you aren't familiar, the concept behind this is to do with the Japanese concept or art of fixing broken ceramics or broken pottery with gold. So rather than, super gluing it back together and trying to hide all those cracks, it actually makes a highlight of them. There's an example of it right here on page 58. And it's a beautiful metaphor for life. We're all broken, and putting ourselves back together can actually be part of the beauty of life. So this is what this concept and this suite is all about, and it's such a lovely story. There's also some samples and ideas on page 60 as well if you're looking for more, and it does show the embossing folder beautifully here. But I just love it. I think it's such a gorgeous suite. So I did go ahead, and because of the suite sale, I decided to get it. All right, so here we have Inspiring Imperfections, absolutely beautiful set. I will be using it in a little while, and we'll be using the matching dies as well. Okay. And there are 9 dies, yes, 9 dies in this set, and there are vases and bowls, and then we've got some little cracked pieces that you could use doing gold, and you've got a banner here and some other shapes that fit around parts of the stamp set, but not just parts of the stamp set, they match the paper too. So let's start with the sizing for the card. Okay, we've got here 21 centimeters wide, which is the width of a piece of A4 cardstock, by 18 centimeters this way. So the halfway point is 9 centimeters, and I've scored my paper right there at 9 centimeters, and then I'm just going to fold that over, flatten it down with the bone folder, and we've got that piece ready to go. Now I've cut 2 pieces to pop on top of it. This is using some of that gorgeous paper. See how beautiful it is? I've got that beautiful foiling. The gold foil is just gorgeous. So this is specialty paper. It's beautiful, but I'm using the reverse side of that one. And I've got some Misty Moonlight here as well. So I've got some cloud cover on Misty Moonlight, which is such a beautiful pairing, as you can see. And that's going to fit right there on top of my basic beige card base. Okay, now if you want to, you could put this whole piece on dimensionals, or you could glue it down. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to glue mine together at this point. So I've got my DSP piece on top of my Misty Moonlight piece, and I'm going to pop that straight down. You might notice this one does have a bit of a direction to it because there are like little flowers Can you see the design? Little flowers and stems or little leaves there. So it does have a right way to go. It does have direction. And then I'm going to zip around here. I'm using Tombow multi-purpose glue, but you can use whatever glue you happen to like to do this. And then I'm going to position that on the front of my card. Now I want to show you next the paper. We've sort of started looking at the paper here, but I want to show it to you because there are some elements here that we're going to be using to put on our card. So first of all, we've got Misty Moonlight here with some gold, what would you call them? I was going to say stripes, but they're not stripes. The pieces of gold through it. It's just beautiful. And on the back, we've got some petal pink little flowers. Can you see them clearly there? And there's 2 sheets of each, and there's 6 different designs for a total of 12 sheets. Okay, then we've got a very vanilla with the gold, also beautiful. And on the back, we've got some Misty Moonlight, a subtle design there on the back. So it's like an A side and a B side. The A side is where all the foil is. Now this one is really interesting. We're going to be using this one today. This one has just vases, flowers, and bowls over the whole thing. There's actually 14 of the large vases, 14 bowls, and I didn't count how many of the flowers there was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, there's 14 of those too, which means there's 2 sheets of this in a pack. Okay, so that means that you've actually got 28 in total, and that's quite a lot to use. And yes, they perfectly match the dies. Okay, so here's our bowl. You can see that perfectly matches that. And then here's our vases, and that perfectly matches. I put it one that's not too close to the bowl there. And then the vase, and then we've also got these little flowers as well. I'll get that one off, this little guy here, and that perfectly matches these guys. So I mean, how good is that? All right, so you can cut everything out of this sheet, okay, and you've got that beautiful gold foiling going on as well. So I have already cut mine just to keep things moving along here today, and I've gone ahead and I've cut out some pieces. All right, before I didn't finish going through the paper. So there's some beautiful foiled pieces there, and this is the back of the one that we've used on our card front here. And that's the other sheet of that. And then this one, that's this is the last one. No, it's not. Second last one, like your cherry blossom look. It's really, really beautiful as well. Very calming, don't you think? And we've got petal pink swirly flowers on the back, leaves and flowers. And the very last one in here, we've got white with some gold foiling. And on the back, we've got Misty Moonlight swirls. Just beautiful. The paper, when you buy the paper, it does tell you on the back what the colors actually are. So we have basic beige, cloud cover, which is the light gray blue, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Gold. Okay, so they're the colors in your paper. Just gorgeous. All right, we are ready to go. Okay, so I've got my pieces that I've already cut out. You can see I've chosen, well, I thought these ones look nice together. The only petal pink that's in this is the flower, and that's going to go in the bowl. Okay, so you can see on my sample here, I use slightly different ones. So you can see this one's got the foiled cracks. This one has more of a leaf design. So you can see I've changed them around a little bit, but that's okay, doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put dimensionals on these. Now this one needs a bit of attention before we add our dimensionals. So let's go ahead and I'm going to add 2 dimensionals to each one. One, whoop, 2, and now this guy here, we're not gonna put the dimensional on yet because I want to give this one a little bit of love. I've attached the and be careful of this, it's so sharp, the knife, some might call it a scalpel, the knife fitting onto the end of my Take Your Pick tool. This is part of the Take Your Pick crafter tips. These are great. They have a perforation tool, which is fun, and then we've got a couple of really thin, like We've got a hook on this end, a little pokey, very, very fine pokey needle on that end. And they've all got lids to help you, you know, so it's protected. Now what I was going to do was I was going to put this so it's actually coming out of the cup. But as you might see here, you can actually see the inside of the cup here. So I actually want my flower, I'm going to create a slit for my flower to go into, and you can use your glass mat underneath for this, which is very handy because obviously you don't want to do it on your tabletop and, you know, dig into your table. So I've actually just cut myself a slit, just followed that line along. It's quite easy to do, and just separate that out. Okay, now my flower goes in through that slit, and it actually looks like it's coming out of the bowl. It's cool, isn't it? All right, so we like that. I'm going to turn that over and just leave it there for a moment, because now I'm going to use a dimensional on the back to hold that in place. Let's just double check. Yep, that looks good. All right, so that's now going to keep that right where it was. You could add another dimensional for support if you wanted. It's not necessary, but you could just use that one. I'm going to have one behind the flower itself. All right, let me put the lid back on the scalpel, because I think I can see myself doing damage with that. All right, so now we're going to arrange these where we want them to be. We've just got to think about where we'd like them to be and how close you want them to be to each other. I'm going to have a flower right there coming out of the bowl. Looks rather cute. We've got room here for our sentiment. So you can see the one that I did before, I used the sentiment banner. And I've also, you could use, you know, you don't have to have the same, it doesn't have to be the same order. You could change the order around of the colors. Really doesn't matter. I think they all look good. All right, I might go with that. All right, so I'm going to start here on the left hand side and take my dimensional backings off. And do that again. Let's pop that, whoop, a little bit further along, a little bit of a gap between them. Totally up to you how much. All right, and then I'm going to take the backs of these ones. So these are really easy to attach because the dimensionals do all the work for you here. And let's have that one going right there. Looks good. Okay, it looks so much better with it coming out of the little slit there. Looks terrific. All right, so now I've got my stamp, which says "You inspire me." Okay, and that's from, you've got several options actually. There is beauty in your history would also work here. This one, thanks for helping me through this difficult time. You'd need a slightly larger banner. I'm going to use the banner out of here, the one that comes in the set, this one. But if you wanted to use maybe a square or a circle, you could certainly attach that one to a square or a circle, or stamp it on there. All right, so I'm just going to quickly cut myself a piece of basic beige, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that was easy. Put that back in the set, and I'm going to use, I would suggest normally when it comes to adding a sentiment, I usually use a darker shade of something I've already used. Now, the darkest shade here would be Misty Moonlight, and I could use Misty Moonlight, but I'm actually going to use Night of Navy in this case, only because Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight are basically the same color, just Night of Navy is darker. So they're the same color, but different tones of the same color. So I'm actually going to stamp this, You Inspire Me. It's nice, isn't it? And then up to you, but I probably, because of the type of, there's no stitching or anything, so I would just add a little bit. This is just a little bit of Misty Moonlight on a, I'm only doing it very, very lightly and going around the edge of my piece. It's just going to give it a little bit more contrast, which will look good on our card. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of this. Whoop, I had pulled more off than I wanted. It's okay. All right. Now I'm going to pop this right here in the middle of this space. You can have it high or low. You can see this one's a little bit lower. Actually, I do like that. Maybe I'll go a little bit lower. This is a work in progress, as you can see. All right, that looks good. Okay, now we've also cut out from these dies, you might notice there's these little flower dies here, that do very delicate kind of flowers, and I've got a couple of those, so I can have them going wherever I would like. We can have them underneath our label, for example. We could also have them behind. For example, I might decide that I want some popping out here behind, you know. Don't mind that. I cut a few of these because I wasn't sure where I wanted to put them. And maybe another one there. And maybe another one here in the middle somewhere. Oh, I don't know. Now, how to attach these. All right, there's a few options. And I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite ways to attach things. No, I don't quite like that. That's better. All right, so that's looking kind of nice. You could wink a cell of these too, which would look really lovely. My suggestion would be a couple of different ways. If you're really smart and you think about it before you do it, you could use adhesive sheets when you cut them out, and then that work would be done for you. Let me close this before I stick my fingers in it. So that's an option, but probably my favorite way to do it, and I think is quicker, is using seal on a silicone mat. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure it's sticky, and I'm going to use a little bit here and there. You don't need much, okay? So I'm going to pop that straight down. Which way do I want this to go? I think I want it to go this way. Like that. Looks rather nice. And then a little bit here. It's just the quickest, easiest way to do this, I think, in my opinion. There we go. Let's pop this one just a little bit on one side here. You're not even going to need very much of this. And let's pop that in. Going to have it going kind of over. That looks good. And then that one I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about this one yet. This one, I think I like this over here. And I feel like maybe maybe higher. There we go. Now, the last thing to add, as you can see, I added some of these little gold flower accents, they're called. I love these. I think they're so cool. Now, I'm going to use my pokey end. I find that's the easiest way to attach these. It just makes it easier. And I'm deciding, where do I want this? Maybe one right here, and then a small one over on my banner. That looks nice. And then another small one up here. And there we go. My card is done. What do we think? Do we like this? I do like a slimline card from time to time. I did make some recently because I use the alphabet dies, the party alphabet, and because if you want a longer word on a regular size card, you comfortably can add the letters, 3 letters, so it doesn't give you a lot of options. You've got you, you've got hey, but on a slimline card you could add up to 5 letters. So you could have the word happy or love, lots of other options when you have a slimline card. So slimline cards give you a lot of options when you have more that you want to say, and I love this idea of lining up my ceramic bowls in this case. All right, so there you go. I did a couple of these. This one's got more of the white. I actually think I like that better. And I do like, because I like those in the background. I think that's really pretty. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to go and check out the next video in the hop. If you click on the description below, click on the YouTube channel, go with more, click the word more below this video, you'll head to the description, and a list of all the hoppers this month and all of our beautiful projects are there for you to go and watch. So check them out. I'm very excited to be part of this group, and I'll be back again with another video for you next month. Thanks guys. Bye bye.